Hi there, Tad Orgay from Marketing for Hippies. So I feel like a fraud. This is something I hear a lot. People come to me and they say, oh my God, I've got this imposter syndrome. I totally feel like a fraud. So first of all, I've written an ebook that's very much on this topic called Who Am I to Teach and Get Paid For It, or something like that. I'll put the link to that below. But yeah, if you feel like a fraud, the first thing that you might want to consider is that you are being a fraud. That's possible. That you are, in other words, posturing. Yeah, you're pretending that you have it more together than you do. That you are putting on an act. That you're, that you're in a different place than you actually are, and you're scared that people are gonna pick up on that. So of course that's frightening. Oh, here's the book, I think. Yeah, here it is. Who am I to teach and to charge for it? So. So if you might want to consider that as a very first thing, because that's a real thing that can happen. We imagine we have to put on this act like we've got all our stuff together and we're totally fine, and there's actually a lot of shame and there's a lot of things that we're hiding. And of course we all do it, but to the extent that you're hiding things, you're probably going to feel like a fraud. The other thing to consider is that you might be holding a standard of perfection for yourself that's completely unreasonable. And of course, you're only going to feel like a fraud compared to perfection, compared to what you think needs to happen. But you only really need to be a few steps ahead of people. As long as you're not over-promising to people, you can still be useful just by being a few steps ahead of them. As long as you're not pretending that you're completely enlightened, you can just say, look, I still screw up a lot, but I have made this progress and I can help you in these ways on these steps at this point in your journey. Then you're fine, But yeah, if you feel like a fraud, it's just worth sitting with, I would say, because it's easy to turn it into a drama. It's easy to spin with it. But if you feel like a fraud, I would just really encourage you to just break out your journal and just sit there and journal on it. Like, why do I feel like a fraud? What's really going on? Am I over-promising? Am I pretending I'm more together than I am? Am I faking something in some way? And if not, then to keep sitting with it. No, I don't think I'm over-promising. What? Yeah, then wait, am I comparing myself to some idealized image of what a life coach or a healer or a permaculture person or a crafter or whatever is supposed to be? Has anyone complained? Is anyone actually upset? And, the third thing is part of the fraud thing is we're not very good at articulating our point of view. And so this can sometimes lead to confusion or frustration where people will complain. But the reason they're complaining is because they didn't know what they were getting into, because we didn't actually articulate, here's my philosophy that all this work is based on, so if we're going to work together, that's what it'll be. It'll be based on that philosophy. So it could be posturing, could be perfectionism, but it could also be a lack of point of view. Yeah, it could be a lack of you sharing your perspective, the premises of your work. That's 3 P's in a row. It's pretty good. And your paradigms. And if people don't know that, it's easier for people to feel like a bit of a bait and switch, versus if you can upfront say, look, if we're going to work together, this is how I see the world, this is how I see this work, this is the approach I would take with you if we were going to do this together. So those 3 P's, that's a good place to start. Are you posturing? Are you being a perfectionist? Or are you just not sharing your point of view honestly? Because if you don't share your point of view honestly, if you're not transparent about that, it's very easy to feel like fraud. Why? Because you are kind of withholding something. You are hiding something. And why? Because we're scared we're going to lose people. We're scared people will be offended. And it's amazing what happens when we just start sharing honestly our perspective, our take on the world or on this issue. Because what happens? We'll turn off the people who are not a fit for us. They will want to have nothing to do with us. And the people who are a fit for us will be drawn forward. So hopefully that's helpful. There's a few ideas. Of course, this is a very big topic. There's a lot more to say. But hopefully that's somewhere you can start with. If you like these videos, please share them with your friends. You can click the subscribe button down below, then click the little bell icon. You can follow me on Facebook. You can go to marketingforhippies.com, check out my website. And I'll put some more links to some of this stuff below. Thanks so much.